Thank you very much. At the back there, can you hear me? Can somebody wave? Right, thank you very much. Vibrant market towns. Find our clicker. A key element in the district's economic strategy, and we're talking in Hambleton about 5 towns, about Bedale and Easingwold, Northallerton, Thirsk, and Stokesley and Great Ayton together as one. So without more ado, the work that we're doing, themes are emerging, and the factors that are making our towns vibrant and great places to visit, great places to do business, great places to work, centre around communications and visitor experience. Environment, the built environment is hugely important, a major attractor to bring people into our towns, and of course the natural environment around them, and the accessibility of those towns. And to look at these very briefly, each in turn, communications, they need to be confident, they need to be compelling, consistent, and above all correct. I think it's probably the greatest issue in the modern technology is keeping our communication channels up to date and accurate. And as businesses, we need to understand the difference between business to business communications and business to consumer. And they are different and they use different channels, and it's important to understand which channels will target your audience the most effectively. And as towns of largely independent businesses, as we've heard from Michael, a consistent voice and tone is actually very important. So there's a consistent, reassuring message from the town as a whole. And so whilst independent businesses are that, truly independent, by working together in business networks, then that is the best way to bring some consistency to what each business has to say. So we need to understand the audiences that we're dealing with, and we need to leverage their preferred communications channels. And crucially, when we get inquiries coming into our businesses, we should reply using the same channel as the incoming communication. And that is just a common courtesy that is really important these days. And the appropriate time scale. Now, I've always worked on a convention with social media that you want to have a response back within 4 hours. And I've just talked about this with Anna over coffee, and we think that is, for at least an acknowledgement or a holding message, it needs to be something going back within 4 hours. And the bad news is the clock doesn't stop at 5:30 in the evening, because your customers are out there and they're making purchasing decisions after 5:30. It is a 24-hour-a-day world these days, and certainly up to about 8 or 9 o'clock at night, it's useful to keep in touch with your social media channels. And before I leave this slide, this is actually, I'm going to run my own little masterclass now for a second or two. This is an absolute masterclass of signage communications. This isn't a Hambleton town. Some of you may recognise this is Hemsley. And I took this picture back in January, February time, and from across the marketplace. And I was looking across a busy marketplace, lots of cars parked, but across the far side of the marketplace, I could see there was a cafe above the roofs of the cars. I could see there was a gift shop. They sell nice things, and well, I'm half sold already. It's open, and if I haven't got time to stay, then there's a takeaway as well. And all that is above the roof line. And for pedestrians who don't tend to look up as often as we would like, at head height, there's a repeater sign to repeat the message. That is a lesson in communication signage. Great lesson. And the importance of good PR. Either do it yourself and do it well, or get some help, because it is really, really powerful. These are fabulous ninja knitters in Bedale, and you can see that some work that they did in the run-up to the Easter weekend was very well timed. And we got some amazing coverage in the press. You can't buy coverage like that with that level of credibility. Very, very important. Talking about the visitor experience, it's important that as businesses we understand our customers, who are locals, who are visitors, who are tourists, and we understand what each grouping is wanting from us. We need to understand how their needs and expectations differ and where there's commonality, and then make sure that we address them. We need to understand the importance of the daytime economy and the evening economy. We've heard a bit about this already this morning. As a rule of thumb, an 8-hour day visit to a town is worth about £20 per head. That's the average spend per head on an 8-hour day visit. A 24-hour visit, when they're staying over in a town, will up that to £50. Now, the ratio is fairly common across towns. Depending on location, the numbers might alter. York, for example, they would spend more. But the ratio of £20 to £50 day visit to 24-hour visit is a fairly common multiple. The cornerstones to successful visits are actually really very simple, but we need to focus on them. Somewhere fabulous to stay, to lever in that economic benefit. Somewhere great to eat and drink. Memorable places to visit, to shop, and for entertainment. And a quality environment with great service and exceptional product knowledge. Many of these things we're doing already, and we're very, very, very good at it. We just perhaps need to communicate it more to bring more people in. And finally, as a town, or towns individually, it would be good to be remembered for something, to be famous for something. Like Hay on Wye with the book festival, like Bridport with local food, and here in Ulverston in the Lake District for the Banner Festival. Small market town and a very famous Banner Festival there, and it brings people in from far and wide. Our environment is massively important, and we're very strong on this. A high quality built environment, but we need to care for it. And I think one of the issues coming forward is we need to find ways of actually increasing the levels of maintenance in our town centres, but at lower costs. And we've had community groups and volunteer business groups actually starting to deliver some of that for us and with us. Our town centres need to be safe, welcoming, and easy to navigate. And against that, accessibility, the default is somebody perhaps on crutches with a Zimmer frame in a wheelchair, but we forget often about a new mum with a buggy, or perhaps a new mum with a double buggy and the difficulties they have in moving around our towns. The newly disabled, the guy who broke his leg playing football last Sunday and for the first time is on crutches with his leg in plaster. How do we welcome these people into our towns? And if you think you have an accessible business in a town, then, and you see someone coming down the high street with some mobility impairment, invite them in. They will be a free consultant to your business, and they will gladly help you. That's my experience. I've never been denied some help by people with mobility impairment if we ask them in and say, well, actually, what could I do better? What's good? What's bad? We've talked so far mainly about the destination experience, but what we need to remember is that whilst vitally important, it is only part of the visitor journey. The journey starts up at 1 o'clock with the decision to come to a town, and what stimulates that decision, how we make a choice, and how we plan and anticipate that visit. And then how we make and confirm bookings. And crucially here, that if we have the ability within our business to offer bookings or reservations, then we need to be able to do that electronically as well as other ways. The world is turning to e-bookability, and we need to make sure that we're on with that. Travelling to the destination, if someone is going to come to your town for a weekend, then travelling on a Friday and a Friday evening is often a nightmare. So be sympathetic to delayed arrivals due to traffic. And a nice little tip is when people do finally arrive, have some good news to tell them. There could be some white wine in the fridge chilling nicely for them. The weather forecast tomorrow could be brilliant. There's a great festival on in town. There's some nice good news at the end of a journey which may have been actually quite difficult. But the various steps of the visitor journey, including the going home and the recollection of the experience once your visitors have got home, is very important. And the two words which are very, very seldom used, or not used enough, is thank you. It means so much. Maybe just a little card, a little handwritten card sent to your visitors, to your guests, when they've got home, saying thank you for coming to see us and we hope you'll come again. Very powerful, very simple, very cheap to do. So, as a team, we are starting to develop Market Town's investment plans. This work is ongoing, and they will be built around the themes that we've just discussed, and the final one of thought leadership, which is about starting a debate. In terms of communications, we need a consistent and confident and recognisable, what I would call an attack brand. You want to be going out there how we're going to portray ourselves. And it's very important that all our businesses and our communities get on board with that for consistency's sake. We need to use business-to-business communications for cohesion and consumer communications to drive footfall. And they're very different, and they're done in different ways. And very often the business-to-business communications are within business networks, which is why, as an authority, we're very keen to help develop and establish business networks in all our towns. The visitor experience, well, the themes that are coming forward are the need to upgrade our general markets for various reasons across all the towns. Northallerton's actually is thriving, in fairness, but our other towns, we have issues and they vary in different towns, but we're looking at ways to reinvigorate them. And things like street food and live music, a little bit of street theatre, night markets, artisan food and craft markets are very popular in other countries and in other parts of this country. And maybe we should be thinking of introducing elements of that into our marketing offer. We should be looking at cashless transactions, even in markets. The world is going cashless, and we need to get on board with that. We need to think about quality marks to give people the confidence that when they come to a town which is largely independent, that they're going to be happy with the quality of what they experience. And there's obvious marks in the food and beverage industry, in accommodation, and in retail. It's there, and we should cherish it. And we ought to be aware of the increasing integration of online and offline business. Click and collect is becoming a major growth area, and interestingly, in areas of the country, online retailers are starting to develop bricks and mortar premises, and there's an increasing coming together of both sides of this industry. We've talked about environment quite a lot already, and accessibility, and thought leadership is about areas where we think we need a debate. And as a local authority, perhaps we're in a position where we can lead that debate to see where it goes to for our towns. But whilst these themes are coming out across all the towns with a reassuring level of commonality, the way we need to develop them in each town will be different. And what I would like to do is just very quickly give you a flavour of some of the things that are coming out in each individual town. In Bedale, there is a real desire to upgrade the public realm in the marketplace. Bedale is a lovely Georgian historic market town, and we think that we can do more with the marketplace to celebrate that. There are plans afoot to develop and deliver a town centre arts trail and cycleway, and the town wants to capitalise on the PR opportunities. That a good example of which is the Bedale Ninja Knitters that we referred to earlier. Developing PR for the town, and the businesses in the town are seeing how it's working. Easter weekend, the town was full of people taking photographs of the work of the Ninja Knitters, the yarn bombing of the town. So we need to develop that and become known for something. The Bedale needs to be associated with something in people's minds. In Easy World, we want to support the Emerging Town Centre Retailers Association, because business-to-business communications is really important as a foundation for good customer or consumer communication. We want to work with Easy World Town Council to help them develop the footfall in their general markets, and with also the Town Council to support them in looking at parking controls in the centre or some of the town centre areas. In Northallerton, then we would like to see the town promoted and the area promoted at the railway stations. Northallerton and Thirsk are both on the East Coast Main Line. Trains stop there. Even if you don't get off the train, you should be aware, I think, of a message to stimulate a visit in the future. We want to see high quality links between the High Street and the former Northallerton prison site, which is in development. That is going to be hugely important for Northallerton in developing the evening economy. Think back to the economic value of that evening economy and what it will do for the town. And we need coach parking provision. So just a little flavour of what's going on in Northallerton. In Stokesley and Great Ayton, we want to support the new and developing business network in Great Ayton, which has had a fantastic start, and also our award-winning Thirsty Thursday network in Stokesley, which is highly popular. We want to help Stokesley develop further as a food town, and we want to encourage the private sector to develop more bed space. In Stokesley, we're short of bed spaces, which makes the evening economy and the value of the overnight stay harder to achieve if there's nowhere to stay. In Thirsk, we want to support the Tourist Information Centre as it continuously adapts to the changing needs of the modern visitor. We want to reinvigorate the Thirsk General Market for growth and better economic performance. And again, we would like to promote Thirsk at its railway station, again being on the East Coast Main Line. What I've done, I hope, is in very short form, is just give you a little flavour of the elements that are coming out of the work we're doing with our 5 market towns. And we're happy to discuss these developing priorities with individual businesses, with business groups, and with stakeholders. And that's something we've been doing and will continue to do so. So please do get in touch. Hambleton District Council's Cabinet will consider these emerging priorities and emerging priority themes in each town in July. And from midsummer onwards, we will start looking at scoping out delivery options, funding options with stakeholders and partner organisations to try and put some of these ambitions into practice. So I hope I've managed to recoup some of the time that we were overrun a little bit, because I think you're all looking hungry up there. I think at that stage, my email address is on there. You're very welcome to get in touch. In fact, we would strongly welcome it. And what I would like to ask you now is, do you have any questions?
Can I ask you, in terms of each of the market town aspirations for the future, I support, obviously. One of the things that seems to me that needs joining up is the whole planning authority linking in with the aspirations of the market town and trying to make life easier for businesses to bring people in, and whether that is short term on a daily basis to food outside on the street, all that sort of thing. There's often a conflict between planning and business, and I suppose I'm just asking the question, is the planning authority involved in the vibrant market town strategy?
The answer is, well, first of all, planning is a statutory operation, and they have rules that they are bound by. Having said that, we are involving them with this programme as it's developing, and as it's emerging, and hopefully shaping it with them so they have an understanding of what we want to achieve. I mean, clearly we can't ask them to break planning regulations, but what we can ask them to do is advise us and work with us so we can develop projects and programmes that are more likely to fit within the planning framework. Anybody else?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there anybody here from North Yorkshire County Council by any chance?
Some elected members.
I can answer that. There is some county councillors in the room.
Right. I was thinking, my personal focus in terms of highways, because obviously highways are an integral part in anything that you're going to do in the high street of Northallerton or any of the market towns, and we need them on board if we're going to get permission to do some of these things.
I'm very happy to answer that.
Right.
There is joined up thinking between ourselves, Hambleton and county